Hello, welcome to my channel, Kaylee Creations. I'm Kay, and I have a Throwback Thursday project to share with you. This is the very first mini album I ever made, and it has been in a cabinet. I pulled it out the other day, and I have not put any pictures in it yet. There were some things with the album, some issues that I wanted to address before I did that, and it was something that was out of sight, out of mind. I never addressed any of the issues. I never did anything with it, and so I thought, oh, and I love it. I love this album, even though it has so many what not to do's when making a mini album, and so many things that I would not do now if I were to make this album. But I love it. I absolutely love, love, love the paper collections that I used. It's one of my all-time favorite paper collections, and but anyway, so one of the things that I would not have done if I were to make this album now is it is a chipboard album, as you can see, notebook rings and everything, but it's also an interactive album. There's lots of flaps and fold outs in there, and I did not use the same paper, like the same cardstock base for my pages. Don't ask me why. This is 7 years old. That's how long it's been sitting in my cabinet, just doing nothing. And so that was one thing. And the other thing was issues with the grommets that I used. For some reason, it's causing some kind of a tarnish rubbing against the rings, and it's causing the ribbons to be black, which maybe you can see here. I mean, there's just black on the ribbons everywhere, and so I guess that's why it's been sitting in a cabinet for so long. But as far as the album goes, I absolutely love it. And the paper collection I used is my Mind's Eye, and the collection is called Find Your Wings and Fly. And there's two different parts to this collection. There's the Up, Up, and Away, which has its own set of papers and stickers and stuff. And then there was, what was the other one called? Um, I can't remember what the other one was called. It might come to me later. But anyway, there was two different parts to the collection, and one focused more on the steampunk hot air balloons and such, and the other was a little more of the carnival theme, circus theme. But they all blend together, and it goes so well together. And oh my gosh, I absolutely love, love, love this paper. And so this was a pre-purchased chipboard album, and it came with this half of a page hot air balloon. And so I just traced it out and made the pieces to fit over. This was actually open, and I covered that with some paper, but it was open like this here, you can see. So, and I fussy cut the little bird and the little flowers from the 6x6 paper pad, and anyway, I just think it came out really so fun, and love the hot air balloons. And I think hot air balloons are still really popular today. I think that's something that stood the test of time. I think there's scrapbooking fads, and you'll see one of them in here. But I think hot air balloons stand the test of time. So anyway, I wanted this state fair feel to this, like the hot air balloon festival. And so when you open this up, so I've still got, all my hot air balloons here, and so I purposely cut the page so that this would be, and it might have been already in the corner, I just don't remember, but anyway, I just made it so that it would flow like into here. And I mean, look at the background though. In the background on this paper is these images of hot air balloons and flowers, and I mean, it's just amazing. And this on the back, on the other side of the hot air balloon chipboard, of course, I went into detail on the basket as well, did the fussy cutting and put a little miniature ticket in there from the 6x6 paper. But this I wanted to leave plain so that I could put, and I covered up, like I said, I covered up those holes, and I wanted to leave this plain so that I could put like a photo mat here or something. And so this opens up for photos. So that's the only place for photos. This is more of a decorative page. And I just love all the stickers. And I had all the stamps. I love, love, love the stamps. I'm not a big stamper, but I did do stamping in this album. And a cute little pocket here with these little miniature ATCs. So these were the ATCs. There was a few card images, and then there were other images as well as that. And so this is the little miniature. And I love this steampunk circus girl. She looks like a, I don't know, with the top hat, maybe a female ringmaster, or maybe just, I don't know. The top hat's kind of a steampunk thing anyway, so I don't know. But it's just really cute. And um, I can't get enough. I can't get enough. I haven't really looked at this album in years, and so I'm just blown away by the paper still. I just think they are fabulous. And so on this page here, I have this tag. I've also got this tag in another part of the book. And so you'll have to pay attention to how this page looks and how that page looks, completely different. So it's amazing what you can do around the same item and just make it completely different. And so when I take these tags out, you can get a better look of how I stamped all over the page. And yeah, don't look at, I'm not a good stamper, so don't look at that too closely. But and that was another thing. I don't know if you can see my pages have buckled, so I don't know what kind of glue I was using or adhesive, but I do have issues throughout the album with that. And then we have some little banners in the corner there, and I just think this is a cute tuck spot, you know. And I love the brads that came with the collection. I kind of miss some of that old school how we had all the little brads and very textile albums, you know, not just paper folios. And you know, I mean, it's interactive, but it's very textile with ribbons and little things. And I don't know, I really kind of miss having all these embellishments. And I still do all the embellishments. I mean, I do not like just a plain, I typically don't like a plain flat out page. I love adding stuff. So this is a this page now. This was when I was first learning to make albums, and I'd first seen an interactive album. It was Anna with Anna Paper Creations, and so a lot of this stuff I've just duplicated what she did because I was learning. I was learning how to do all this stuff, and so this folds out here, and there's a little mini notebook page for journaling, and then there's a tag back here. So it's like a fold out pocket. And then I created these tabs out of this chevron paper, and I just thought that was really cute. And I know a lot more now about doing swing tabs than I did then. So I mean, there were things I would do different, but that's okay. And so, but this folds up here for pictures, and then we have a little book here with a little miniature ATC, and then just for fun. It's just so cute, and that is one thing that I liked about Anna's creations, is that she always had just some cute little surprises in her, but just cute little things here and there, little tucks of booklets, or the little tiny fussy cuts here and there, and she was amazing. So this opens up, and we have these hidden tags in the pocket here. And one thing that Anna did do a lot was she would always put little pockets inside of tags. Like there was a tag inside of a tag, and just little pockets everywhere, and little booklets, and just little fun surprises. And so I tried to duplicate that in this album. So a lot of the tags will have a pocket with more tags, and these little miniatures from the 6x6 pad. Just so cute. There's the 2 of spades. There weren't a lot of cards. There was only 12 cards on the page, and I think only 6 of them were actually playing cards. And so it wasn't like a full set of cards, but they're so fun. I love the steampunk feel of the playing cards, and I love how there's the shabbiness, the kind of a junk journal feel here with the layering on the print of the paper, and the roses, the doilies, and yet you've got your elephant with the top hat, and the bird with it's just so very steampunk, and carnival, circus, and shabby at the same time. If I were to get this paper collection ever again, I mean, if it magically came out again, I would make something really shabby, funky. Oh my gosh, I would absolutely love, love, love for this to make it come back. I mean, this is, I think, one of the most genius paper collections ever made. It's one of my favorites, and I just think the whole thing about it is fabulous. And the colors, I've never really seen anything like this duplicated since then, and I really like it. Um, so in my dreams, if I had one of my crafting wishes, if the crafting genie came and said, make a wish, this would be what I wished for. And so this page here, this is something, a little technique that I did on this very first album I made that I've done since then. And I don't know if I got this idea from somebody else or if I came up with it myself. I honestly really don't know. I kind of, in my mind, I think I did it myself without seeing anybody else do it, but I'm sure other people have done it, so I can't claim, anything on that. But this is cut out from the exact same paper. So this is just a stamped image here. This isn't a fabulous stamp. I mean, just a really cool stamp, but the paper was just pretty much plain with just this image on here. Well, I wanted to include it in the album, but if I include it in the album, then I just have a plain paper and I can't cover that up. So my idea was to take the second paper of the exact same paper, cut this part out, and then make it into like a text spot belly band. And then, so this part of the image behind almost looks like I stamped it now because I put this directly over the image on the page beneath. So I think it's really cool. It almost looks like it's stamped, especially because I have this stamped here. And then so now I have this image on the page and I can still see it even though I've got my tags here. So, but look at these cute tickets. Oh my gosh, there was a whole sheet of tickets and I just fussy cut them out and put them all throughout the album. But just so, anyway, so this is just a really fun idea. I've done this with pockets, fold outs, a lot of different ways to just take that same paper and recreate. I also did that with a what I call it an advent calendar, but it's really just a page with the 25 days of Christmas on it, or the 25 numbers, and I have just layered that one single page up and made a little calendar with it. So I do have that video if you're scrolling down my YouTube channel, or if I think about it, I'll put the link. But just the cute little 6x6 images. See, there's that image in the 6x6, and but anyway, it's just a fun way to include that paper, because a lot of times we get this paper and we just leave that page blank and it's flat, which I don't like flat, and or somehow there's other ways to build it up too, but this is just a fun way to include that image on the page and not cover it up. And so this was I think it was a cut apart paper, if I remember. Now this was 7 years ago, okay, 7 years. So I think this was a cut apart, and I just put this on to this green and pink paper, but it's like a little journaling spot. There's the notebook paper already on the paper, and I love that. I wish there was more of that in the paper that you buy today. I wish there was more notebook paper. I think that was kind of a trend for a while and it went away, and I think that's a trend that could last forever because um, especially those who make junk journals, you like this ephemera on the paper, but a place to put journaling. And when you're doing a junk journal, you can't always build it up. It has to be a little more flat. So I wish that could make it come back, but I added these little puppy dots here. I don't know if they're puppy dots, but they're little dots that came with the collection, and I put those there. And so this was the Brads came with some of these little paper embellishments with them. And so I just mounted this onto cardstock and put the brad back in, made a little swing tab here. And so this opens up, and this is another piece of ephemera. And then I just took a sticker from the collection and popped it up to make a pocket. And so this comes out, and this actually has the notebook paper on it for a little bit of journaling. So it's just a really fun thing. And I got this idea from Anna. And like I said, this was my first album. I didn't know what I was doing. I'd never seen anything like this before. So I really um, duplicated a lot of what she did. And then by doing that, I figured out how things work. I figured out if you do this, then this, and just different ways to manipulate the paper, and just was able to learn a lot from her on her tutorials. And so this is just a hot air balloon that I fussy cut out, but I had glued the notebook paper on the back first and then cut it out. So now I have this little journaling card that's shaped like a hot air balloon. So I think that was really fun. And I just love the junky feel of this. All these things just jumped in here into this belly band. And by the way, I have to tell you, I name my pages. Okay, I know it seems kind of weird, but I give my pages names because when I'm designing an album and I kind of have an idea of how I want the album to look, whether it's really interactive or shabby or whatever I want to do. And so I want to make sure I have all my fold outs and all my base pages done, so it's easier to put everything on with the album flat, because I want my pages to be on really well, because you can, like I said, I've got bubbles and buckles here because the pages were not glued down properly. And so I want everything to be flat, and then I go back and embellish. So I have categories and piles of this is my neon bright page, because this yellow green or green yellow, however you want to call it, is so kind of a neon color, and it's just such a bright page. So this was my neon page. This was my turquoise page, because it was just a lot of turquoise and coral in there. And so anyway, I name my pages, so we'll go through that as we go through the album. But anyway, so I made these cute little tags. Just mostly these tags are from scraps of paper, so there's not these might be the same width, but I mean it mostly was because that was the scrap size I had left over, and maybe from cutting the pages. And so I've just cut out these tickets on these. And remember when bicycles were huge, like bicycles everywhere. And so bicycles are fun. So that's a fun thing. And then just this collaging on the pocket here. And this is a large photo tab, and I wanted to imitate the background so that wouldn't get lost by putting a large photo mat here. And so I just duplicated the same paper and put it on top, and that way it's not lost. And then a cute little sticker here with the top hat on the rocking horse. So steampunk and so circus. I just love it. The shabby steampunk banner with the circus elements to it. I mean, oh my gosh. Yes, I want this back so bad. I would love to do a real shabby steampunk circus. Yeah, I would love to do that. And I know there's been some little carnival papers come out recently, but they're not, it doesn't have that really steampunk, it doesn't have that feel to it. I don't know. Anyway, so that's the neon page. And this one is my gold page. And this was something I did for my very first album. In my mind, I separated the pages by the color. It was just easy reference for me. So that's just something that I naturally did making this very first album. And so one thing that I did that might have been a novice mistake was, for some reason I thought, oh, it can't have the pocket go, you can't have a hole in the pocket, right? Like, I can't make the pocket high enough, you know, because there's that hole there. Well, it's a notebook ring. Nothing can sit right there anyway, right? So there was no reason I couldn't have the hole in the pocket. So, you know, you're probably thinking, duh, but yeah, for me, that was, you know, I was dumb that way. I didn't know what to do. So, this pocket is just way too shallow, way too shallow. I would have made it, you know, clear up to here if I would have thought I could do that. And so I did have to put the swing tab here just to help keep this in place. And so I've got these cute little, oh my gosh, don't you just love the colors? The colors in this paper collection are outstanding. I love the gold rose colored papers with the shabby flowers. And then you have the chevron, which I know chevron's kind of gone out. You know, chevron was the big thing. But even so, stripes, whatever, chevron, you still are mixing roses with stripes. It's just way cool. And then the cute little stamp. And then of course we have the little tag in the inside the tag, and another one of these. And like I said, this is just a scrap. So skinny little tag. Just take my scraps, make tags with it, which, I mean, because I feel like there's not as many chipboard albums shipped with embellishments anymore. It kind of gone the way of the folio, kind of a streamlined look. I feel like there's not as many tags anymore with the bows, maybe more in junk journaling now. But it's something I really miss. I think I'm going to do an old school album here. I've kind of been inspired to go back and do some things that we used to do. And so this is just a little journaling book, and you know, for pictures or for whatever. And so there's a place right there to put very large photos and stuff. And love this statement paper of the signature paper, I guess, of the sky's the limit. Sky's the limit, if that's what it was called. Yeah. So I don't know if, I think they might have, my mind's eye might have done that with a lot of their collections, had two different parts, but you know what, that was my beginning, my second round of scrapbooking beginning. Okay, so I used to scrapbook way back when, before I was working full time. My kids were really little, and I would do that paper, you put the picture on, you slap stickers around it. And not that I'm not, you know what? I know there's still a lot of people that do that, and they have really cute scrapbook paper. I have scrapbooks that are still, I still think are darling. I'm just saying that's what we did, and then it evolved. You know, it changed and evolved since then, and they've added so many more techniques and tools and things to do, that when I came back, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. But so this page was actually designed by Anna. It was in one of her albums. I don't remember which one, but she did like this invisible pocket. And by invisible, I mean you know, you can't tell it's there. I've got the words right there to help me find it easier, you know, but you don't know it's there. It's just a little strip cut in the paper and glued in such a way that this will slide back in. Which I got the glue too high up, so this doesn't go all the way in. And I might have done that on purpose, because I think I think I cut this too low, and I didn't want this to go too much farther down. And I don't remember why. Maybe that's because I already had that there. I don't really remember, but anyways. Okay, this was supposed to be, but this was supposed to be a fold out, and so it was supposed to just look like a fold out, and then, oh surprise, it's a pull out pocket too. But I put this layered sticker here with this here, thinking, oh, I won't use it as a fold out, I'll just have it as a pull out. Well, people tend to want to fold it up, you know, so this is eventually going to get completely destroyed. So, oh well, live and learn, right? Do not put things up here when you want to fold it up. Even the second layer is just too much for the fold. This paper is just getting, all the layered stickers are getting pretty beat up. I just think layered stickers were meant for maybe cards and the outside of a journal or a album. They're not really holding up to the album. If you have one in an album, you got to keep it protected somehow from the other page because inevitably the pages are going to rub together. I don't care what type of system that you use. The pages are going to rub together and they just kind of get destroyed. So one of the issues I had was I was originally going to put a pocket here, this skinny little pocket here, and I had some tags that were going to sit right in here, some little chevron tags. I don't know why, and maybe this is one of the reasons I put the album away. Maybe I was still going to do that and something happened or I ran out of paper, I made a mistake, I'm not really sure, but I don't have the pocket here, and you're probably saying, well, it really doesn't need a pocket, and of course now I'm looking back thinking I don't need the pocket, it's fine without it, but anyway, that might have been originally why I tucked it away. I don't know. So anyway, this folds out. There's a little journaling spot with a notebook paper. And this folds out quite a few times. And I haven't done this in a while. I have not done this in an album, and I'm not really sure why. Because it's a great way to add a ton of photos. And look at how little space that's taking on the page. But yet look at this. So this opens up here, and there's a fold out here. Room for 2 pictures. You know, there's obviously room for a picture underneath here. So there's 3 pictures right there on the first 2. And then 4 pictures, and this is a tuck spot. So if you had little pictures, you can even tuck one in and make, do more pictures. So I'm sorry, I lost my count. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, and then 7. And this is not a photo mat. This is just a flat out ATC card that I double backed on both sides. So wouldn't put a picture there, but definitely can put a picture in the pocket, can glue a picture up here, and even a little itty bitty mini photos could go maybe on the back here. So and these are the little tags that we're going to sit here. So just a great way to hide pictures and get quite a few pictures. If you don't mind like the wallet size, which I really don't mind. I don't mind having a decorative album with smaller pictures. I think it just makes it fun. I think it's fun. I know some people say, well, it takes away from the pictures. No, I think it's just fun. In my mind, if someone handed me an album with like 100 pictures in it, after a while I'd just be flipping through. Yeah, that's the pictures, pictures, pictures. When the picture is entwined in a piece of art here, I'm more gravitated to look at that and see how the picture flows with the rest of the album, and for me it's captivating. And so and I've never had somebody come and just look at a box of photos at my house, but yeah, people will come to my house and they will inevitably pick these up and look at them. So, and no one's ever come to my house and looked at my pictures on the computer. So, yeah. So I know we can share them that way very easy, but I'm just saying it's just a fun thing to have around the house for people to look at, when they're just sitting there and you're having a conversation, somebody pick it up, look at it and remember it and cherish it. And so I think albums should be here to stay always. I think there's a place for that in our lives. And so this page, this is my ooh la la page, and you'll see why. First of all, you can see it has that French vintage feel to it. Just the nature of this design here, which I know there's a name for that, and I can't think of that pattern. Which I think is very beautiful, and it has the little French words in the background, and it just has that feel to it. The bird with the top hat. I mean, this bird just looks really French to me when it's put in this setting. Remember the first layout and the different look compared to this one. So but I needed to break up the pink. I just didn't want an all pink page, and so this uh, these 6x6 pairs had this layering on them anyway in the print, and then it was such a neutral color. And I even thought, well, I could even attach a picture here if I wanted to, but just love the little steampunk images here, and then tied with the flowers and the bicycles and the shabbiness mixed with the steampunk, just so cool. And then I made this pocket here, and I did some layering here, kind of to make this look like a tag dangling down from a ribbon kind of a feel. I don't know. At least that's my thinking, okay? And so this is from, I think this is from like the cover page of the paper. You know how they have like a cover title page, and so that was from um, the cover page. And this has the title of the paper collection, Find Your Wings and Fly. And I love how they mixed lowercase with uppercase and not in the correct order, like not at the beginning of the word. And then these pearls were really big back then. Do you remember the little pearl sprays? I mean, I still have some that I have never used yet, and so I swear I'm gonna make an album. I think I'm gonna do a chipboard album, a really tiny one, because I have a ton of chipboard pieces left over. And I was watching Rosa Kelly scrapbooking, and she did a chipboard album with her leftover scraps of chipboard, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have so many of those. I'm gonna do that too. So thank you, Rosa, for inspiring me. And so yeah, I think I'm gonna try and add some old school stuff to it, like just anything I can find. I've been cleaning out my cabinets and my drawers and just trying. I've been rearranging rooms in the house and making things ready for maybe people to come and stay here. And so, yeah, so I think I'm gonna do some purging by making an album. And I've been listening to other people talk about, purging and cleaning up and organizing, and their philosophy is if you don't like it anymore, get rid of it. Like just because you paid for it, and if you think, oh, that's really not my thing anymore, because we change, right? Our tastes change, our abilities change, our way, fads change. And so if you don't like it anymore, get rid of it. But if it's something that you still like and you're like, oh, I like that, even though it's not popular anymore, I still really like that. Hey, go make a throwback album. That's what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be a throwback album. So anyway, so I got a tag within a tag here, little skinny tags from scraps, and that's just the same paper. And I probably either found this to mat or to fit, or I cut it to fit, either way. And then I got this cute little the 6x6 tag of the bird in here. So just very fun. And I think this is my favorite card, the Ace of Spade with the carousel on the cover. And just love that. And this steampunk image here. And I even fussy cut one of these little background images out, and then glued it onto the top of the card here just to tie it in. Just, you know what, even with my first album, I was always trying to find little details that I could add here and there. And that's just something that gives me satisfaction and joy in creating an album, is to find little ways to add a little detail here and there. And it might take a lot of work, and I've had albums where I've meticulously done things and I think, what am I doing? This is meticulous, and I don't like that part of it. But I do enjoy putting details in my albums, and not that all of them are detailed, but I mean, it's just something that I've enjoyed doing. Like some people really like fussy cutting, and I will do it. I don't mind it, but it's not a relaxing thing for me necessarily. But adding little details and finding ways to tie in little subtle things like that give me satisfaction and joy in creating an album. So I love these cute little banners. I'm so cute. And then this pocket here is all one paper. So what I have done is I cut to here, to the edge of the carousel. Then I fussy cut the top, and then I measured and continued that straight line there. So it's all one paper. It's just that this top part's cut out. And so that's a fun way to do a pocket. And then you're probably saying, well, why is this even a pocket? There's nothing in here. I don't know why I made it a pocket. I couldn't tell you. Maybe originally I was going to put something in here. And so, I mean, because something still could go in here. But I couldn't tell you. It's been too long. And, or maybe I just wanted to tie in the blue. Maybe I just needed blue here and this was the way to do it. But why I didn't just glue down a strip and make it a pocket, I really couldn't tell you what my thinking was. And just a little fussy cut hot air balloon, again, to add in the blue. I've always kind of had a sense of the color. And then I also was taught something in I was in on the yearbook staff in school, and one thing that we were taught was to do things. And then also I learned this from somebody who was in home decorating. You do things in threes. And so I always I you know I have people ask me, I tell them do things in triangles. um okay, so and they don't have to be exact triangles, okay, but think of it in threes, like 1, 2, 3. There's the blue on the page. Does that make sense? And so I've always tried to, when I'm balancing a layout, I've always tried to think in terms of 3. Okay. And on the colors and on patterns, and so that just gives the layout balance to me. And maybe I think part of it is because I did work on the yearbook staff, and we had to really be conscious of layouts and how things were laid out, and the way things were placed on a page, that so it's become kind of um, second nature to me. Sometimes I look at things and I don't think that's not right. It's not laid out on the page right, and sometimes I don't always know why, but I think it goes back to that yearbook training that I had. I mean, I was on the yearbook staff for almost my entire high school days. I think I started as a freshman and just kept going. And so I learned a lot about that. So anyway, because I was never an artist. I don't really draw. I have really bad handwriting, but I tend to be able to lay things out on a page, and I think that's why I enjoy scrapbooking so much, because I can feel like an artist. I can feel like I have a creative quality to me that I can do that, and so it's just something that I've always really enjoyed. And I always had little scrapbooks, even when I was young. I had little scrapbooks, like the construction paper that we just, you know, we'd call them a junk journal now, right? So anyway, this opens up and there's a cute little tag in here, and the little ticket. Another one of I love this image too. It's very steampunk, and got the carousel on the back. So I guess when I was doing this, it was really important to me to match the same cards with on the same page, which is fine. That's good. It gives it some cohesiveness. So anyway, and ooh la la on the sticker. So that's why this is my ooh la la page. Aside from the fact that it does have that French feel, but anyway, I love the little elephants with the top hat. It's just that, to me, is so carnival steampunk. Oh, love. I really wish there was a craft genie, don't you? I mean, what paper collection would you ask for if there was a craft genie? I would really like to know. So if you want to leave those in the comments, please do. I'd love to hear. I think that would be fun for me to know what collections people would like to have if they could have a craft genie bring back their favorite paper collection. And I know Graphic 45 is doing that, like they bring back old collections. I wish other companies would do that. That would be so fun. Oh my gosh, that would be so fun. So anyway, this is my circus page, and I have the ringmaster's mustache here, which that's what I'm gonna call it, and I have like this pattern kind of reminds me of maybe a clown, and So this is my Circus Page. This last page, I was kind of, I was getting down to the papers I had left. So not that I don't think these papers are pretty. I actually think these papers are gorgeous with all these colors. But this was the paper that I don't know, maybe I just liked the least or didn't know what to do with. And I can tell you right now, I was never been a big fan of the mustaches. That was a huge, what I call, remember I was saying there's scrapbook fads? That was a scrapbook fad. I mean, there was just a lot of paper collections had the mustaches in it, and it was cute. And I know a lot, don't get me wrong, I don't mind mustaches on guys, okay? But I just, it was not my favorite thing. I didn't hate it. I'm like, oh, that's stupid. I wasn't like that. It just wasn't, you know, I wasn't drawn to it. Let's put it that way. So I really didn't know what to do with the mustaches. So I decided just to put this little strip here and then make this into a little tuck spot belly band, which it doesn't work very well. And this little part of the mustache is getting ruined. So I'm going to have to try and fix that. But anyway, it's a very busy page, and so it's not my favorite, but this, I was bound and determined to use as much as I could of the collection, so I did include this. And I might have even had to cut another chipboard to make another page. I can't remember how many, but I was bound and determined to include everything I could into this album. And so this is part of that. This is from the marketing strip, that's on the bottom of the paper. And and so I just thought that was really fun to include that. And then I've stamped behind it and got the cute little tags. And I can't imagine that I've used all the brads. I don't know if I ended up using them in other projects or if I don't know. But I love this one. This is like the signature of the paper, this hot air balloon with find your wings and fly. And so I love that brad here, and I got that here. So this is probably my favorite part of the page. And I love that you can put a little picture here, and I just love this collaging with these dots. I used them in these album. I never have really used them much. I think they're cute, and I always think I want to use them, but I end up never really using them on a layout. I don't know why. But this opens up here, and you've got some tuck spots with the top hat and the hello. And that graphic designs was very popular then. These little, like the little signs and the pointy fingers and the hello and the I don't know. Do you remember that? Like, I mean, there's still things that are still out there. They never totally go away, but it was just really that chalkboard look was really popular right around that time, and so just really fun stuff. The hot air balloons, I think, have stood the test of time. I don't think that's ever really gone away, which I'm glad. I'm glad they've come to stay. And then there's the little 6x6 mustache. And then this opens up, and the little 6x6 of this pattern. And this #1 sticker from the fair. Love that. And then this cute little skinny tag with the tickets. And I apologize. I know the chevron is hard to see on camera. The camera does not like chevron. I don't care what I do. It doesn't want to focus on it. So anyway, so that's my Circus Page. Oh, and this opens up here. Not done yet, right? And then these tags. On this little one, I've got a little tag inside her. And then I get the cute little stamp, look up, and journaling with the notebook paper on the back. Yeah, I want that notebook. I know you can print them out, notebook papers and stuff, or get them somewhere else and just cut them out your own notebook paper, but I don't know. It doesn't have the same, it's not the same thickness. And I like the collaging with the notebook paper. I just think that's a fun addition to a paper collection. And so, anyway, now that's it. And then this closes up, and I got the signature paper on the back with the stamp, and then I added this little stamp that I can't find. I think it might have died, but I haven't been stamping my albums on the back with my name and the date, and I think I need to go back and do that because I don't know. I just feel like maybe one day someone will forget, you know, or it's just a nice little personal touch to add. And I do it when I give things away, but I haven't been doing it for my own, and so I think I might go back and do some of that. But anyway, thank you for walking down memory lane with me, and thank you so much for um, watching my channel. And so if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And I really would, I say this every time, but I really would love to hear your thoughts and your comments, and especially about your favorite paper wish. And also, if you want to be notified of my upcoming projects, please hit the little notification bell. And then I also want to thank all those YouTubers out there who give me inspiration and are so creative and inspire me every day. And for all of those who are so creative and inspire me, I just think looking back on this and being a beginner scrapbooker again, and it was so good for me to have people that I could watch on YouTube and learn how to do and how to create, and to make this something that I enjoy for years to come. And so thank you so much. All right. Bye.